Like a lot. Hey there, hi there, ho there. What's up? We are live today. We're chatting, pre-chat. So we are going to have so much fun today. I'm very excited. Let me make sure I can see any comments that come in. I know people are coming in from all different places. And I know a lot of people, that's what I was just talking about. A lot of people watch the replay on these. So if you're watching the replay, howdy, I'm Carolyn J. Carpenter. This is Anthony. Simonie, we are part of Hollywood Gatekeepers. I'm going to turn off anything that's dinging right now. Sorry about that. I want to make sure nothing is distracting us. So we are going to talk about values today, which is really fun. We do these live trainings so that you can kind of get to know us, you can get to know the team, you can get to know me. And so Anthony and I are going to talk about values today. I'm going to introduce you to him at a deeper level so that you can find out who he is, and we can go from there. If you have questions along the way, feel free to just drop them in the chat, and we'll just dive in. So we want to talk about values because values, in my opinion, as a writer, are one of the main things that will help a screenplay. When you have a screenplay, the two things, I've read over 11,000 screenplays. I've done this for a long time. And now I'm training people how to read and analyze screenplays for a living. So as you're learning how to do that, understanding values is really important. So the two things, in my opinion, that really make a screenplay move forward, that make a movie successful, is that a movie is authentic and it's universal. We can all relate to it, regardless if it's a dancing toothpick, whatever it might be. We can all relate to the human experience within it. And then we can all see that it's believable. We believe what's happening, no matter how outrageous it is. And the way you get to that is through values. So I'm going to give you two examples of films, and where you can get what I'm talking about. And then we're going to apply it to your life, which is what we do here at Hollywood Gatekeepers. If you have a life that's leaning towards contentment, not necessarily everything's hunky-dory and we're happy all the time, but that you're feeling things that are negative and you're like going through things and you're able to manage your life, that's what we're about. And the more that we can use movies to do that, the better it will be. And the more that you can have that kind of life, the better you'll be at writing coverage, because you won't be taking your angsty life out on a poor writer and demolishing their screenplay because you're unhappy. We want you to be as smooth and even as possible so that you could do a really good job. So the two films I like to use to demonstrate this, one is Jerry Maguire. So they're both Tom Cruise movies, which makes it easy to imagine. So in Jerry Maguire, Tom Cruise has an internal change, right? He has an epiphany and he writes the manifesto, and he's like, his whole world changes because he decides, I'm going to do something different. But his external world does not match that. His external world doesn't have the same values as what he feels internally anymore. And so he gets dumped by his girlfriend. He has to leave his job. He has to start over again. And Renee Zellweger is kind of the first character to step up and be like, I'm with you. I have those values. And so throughout the movie, the whole story is about him changing his external world to match those internal values. And when he finally comes back around and she says, you had me at hello, like the whole way she's had the same values. He just needed to come around to find that from her, which is why it's so, gives me the chills. It's such a beautiful moment, right? If you look at Rain Man, another Tom Cruise film, the values are a little bit different. His external world changes in Rain Man, and now he has to match his internal values to his external world. His brother suddenly appears. He didn't know he had a brother. He has a brother. He doesn't value his brother. He doesn't value family. He doesn't value any of that. And he spends the whole movie fighting that value, wanting to I don't want to value family. I don't want to value my brother. I don't want to be this man. But he slowly and quite beautifully, I think in one of his best performances, creates that arc and gets there. And that's what makes it so authentic. So think about the movies that you watch and think about the character arc that the protagonist makes and what is the value that's shifting. When we have two people arguing, we think they're arguing about a circumstance, but actually they're arguing about their thoughts about that circumstance. They have differing values about what's going on. And so they argue. And this is true in our lives too. If you find that you're arguing with someone or there's people that make you cringe, think about what their values are and think about what your values are. And chances are they don't match. And that's why you're at odds with them. The same is true when we're unhappy with our lives. If you look around, your external life isn't matching your internal value, then we're unhappy. So that's why we say we want to write our screenplay. We say we want to read and analyze screenplays. We say we want to work in Hollywood, but we're not doing it. So we're saying that that's our value. We're being in the external world. You're here right now. If you're watching this, you're saying this is your value. But if you're not actually doing that, it can create some angst, which is why this is where we come in. Ta-da! So I wanted to get that across both as a writer, so you can see that. As a reader, you can see it and help someone get a screenplay there, but also in your life. Like, where are places where your values aren't matching your daily activities? If you want to know what your values are, what did you do yesterday? What did you do the day before that? What are you doing? Whatever you're actually doing is what you value. No matter what you say you value, whatever you're actually doing is your value. So as we create our programs, we are always coming from that place of how can we create a program that will really help support what you value. And again, if you're here watching this, you're already one step in the right direction. It means that you're valuing whatever we're putting out here. And we're always going to try to put out valuable content, valuable information that really helps you move forward in whatever way. So when I met Anthony, we immediately connected. We connected. Evan Pagan is my coach. And again, I mean, talk about aligning values. Like, by aligning with him, so many doors and things opened up by aligning with Evan. And one of those things was meeting Anthony at a live thing that I did with Evan. And so I met Anthony, immediately hit it off, and then immediately started talking about, what we do. And so I'm going to let Anthony explain a little bit more what he does. And then we came together and we were like, oh, we could create some really cool stuff together. So we're going to talk about what that is today. So, hey, Anthony.
Hey, it's great to be here. And, I mirror that sentiment. It's like attracts like. And I think this was one of those situations where we're just like kindred spirits. It's like sometimes you meet folks and it's hard to create that bond. With us, it was just like instantaneous. And I think that is a true testament to like living your values, because if you truly are living your values, you are carrying yourself in that way, right? You're the way that you speak, the confidence level that you have, and all of that matches up and it aligns. And then you end up meeting those types of folks like we did that are a great fit to either create some sort of relationship with, or to collaborate with, or, to work with. All those things are possible when you have those things in alignment. And so yeah, we instantly hit it off. And, now I am the director of development at, Hollywood Gatekeepers. And it's an honor to be involved with your organization, because I know that at the heart of your organization is really, you focus on the people. There's a lot of folks out there that they sell programs, they have different offerings, but it's centered around money. It's not really centered around the people. And you're one of those rare folks that are in the industry that understands that the asset is the people. It's not all the other stuff. The asset is the people. And so that relationship with the people is very important. And I believe that that's one of the driving forces as to why you are always making sure that you're dotting your I's, crossing your T's when it comes to delivering products, services, content to your audience, because at the end of the day, it's important to you, right? This isn't just a thing where you make a living. This is where you're making an impact. So it's not about just the income, it's about the impact, because without the impact, the income is short-lived anyway. Right.
It's not fun. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And we have Cherie on our team as well. And the three of us are constantly talking about y'all. We're constantly like, well, what would be best for so-and-so, and what, whoever it might be. We're always like, the three of us are always kind of figuring out what's the best, approach for this person, what would help them the most. And we really do take it seriously, because it's just, we really want to know what you guys need. Whenever people start talking about we need this, we need that, we're always like, well, let's create it. Let's create a course. Let's create a day of a one-day workshop, or whatever it might be. And let's create some packages. And when Anthony when we first met, like, immediately it took us a couple of months to sort of brainstorm. We wanted to brainstorm an ultimate program that Anthony, as the director of development, could develop this program. Like, it was the perfect kind of segue into him developing something really nice for a group of people that wanted to go that route. And so he handles specific programs that we have. And it was an interesting brainstorming process. We'd be like, well, maybe that or this. We kind of went back for a while, which was really nice. We went back and forth that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a testament to, like, based on what is the real feedback? What have you experienced? It wasn't like, hey, let's just throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. It was based off of real needs, real, like, desires, and things like that people in your audience are voicing
Yeah.
and sharing. And so it's that matching of those things that creates the success for them, the success for us as the program developers and stuff like that, guides, if you will, to help them get from point A to point B in the shortest period of time possible.
Yeah. So we wanted to make sure, because Anthony is often emailing people, and we just said, let's just do an interview so people can meet Anthony and we can like talk about who he is, and so that we can all, who it is that you're talking to. So when you came in, what was your biggest surprise when you first kind of came in and became part of Hollywood Gatekeepers?
Like I was saying a minute ago, I worked with a lot of successful companies, and they are not all created equal. And what I mean by that is just kind of what I said a minute ago is there's a lot of them that are out there to make a quick buck. It's a cash grab. And that's just the reality of it. And, as people get to know me, they find out I'm very transparent because, I just believe, and I believe in that, because it's like, why not get the truth on the table? Because that's what we're here for. We're here to see, hey, can we help? And if we can, let's do it. Let's make this thing happen, make it a reality. But the big difference was that this organization, Hollywood Gatekeepers, it's not driven by the money. It's driven by the people. It's driven by the impact. And you have a passion around this industry, or in this industry, that is a true passion that you have affinity to. So we see a lot of gurus out there, right, that are like selling stuff that they have no affinity to, or they did, like 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
But no longer. You are still in the trenches. You're still got your finger on the pulse. We were just talking about the different projects you're developing right now. And that to me is very important, because if you're somebody that was a has-been and you're trying to teach people how to do things that are relevant in today's world, in the industry that work, that's a tough one.
Yeah. And the industry is changing so much right now, which in my opinion is like so much opportunity. It can be easy to get overwhelmed. And we were just talking before this. He's like, don't get overwhelmed. He like helps, because I'm like, I want to do this and that, this. I'm like, because there's just so many things. So it's like, but the industry is changing so rapidly that it can become easy to get overwhelmed. And so we want to try to create those, like, step by step. We have a 5-step success path, and we try to create these like, go here and then go here, to make it like really simple for people. And we're really passionate about that, so that we can be, what do you need here? Like very gently.
It's like it really is. I equated to a paint by numbers process. You paint by numbers, and it sounds ridiculous, but you know what? We're human beings, and the more simplified that we can make things for each other, the better off we are. Even if it's a complex issue, because it's just so important to be able to break it down that way. And you're really good at that.
So good. That's really a great analogy. I'll have to remember that one. Note to self. Really good. So what's it been like meeting some of the students? Because you've met many of our students now. A lot of people came in after meeting you.
You remember I said like attracts like?
Yeah.
My experience has been there's a lot of really good people that are in your audience that are just really passionate about what they want to do. Some of them are definitely they're more action oriented than others, but part of the goal was to help those that aren't, is willing to take action quicker than some of it. Part of our job is to help you get that confidence, because when you're, like you said earlier, if you're truly living your values, you're going to have to take intentional action every day to live out those values. And it's very easy for us to get distracted in the world we live in. There's so many different things that could pull us away from what our values are. And pretty soon we're like, okay, what happened here? So we got to be very intentional about every day taking the right actions towards, not only our goals, but living our values. Because if we live our values, then we're able to get to our goals, right?
For sure.
And one thing I wanted to share with everybody is, there's a lot of folks, and I've talked to lots of, hundreds of people now, in the audience. And, there's this, a lot of people have a block, and that block is like, they have the goals, they have the vision, but they're kind of stuck in their day-to-day stuff, like their day-to-day job or their day-to-day profession. And they're quietly like screaming inside to get out to achieve this goal. And we just have to like help them get over that little temporary roadblock. so
Yeah.
that they can get on the right path to get there.
Exactly. Yeah, we have a lot of that. And one of the ways that we kind of help with that, because I've been there, I know what that's like, and most people have on some level, is being able to flip the mindset on that. If you have a day job that you're stuck in, or you have a situation that you're stuck in, especially if it has to do with you have your survival job, as they say, or your day job, is that turning that into, well, this is just my first investor into the thing that I want to do. So they're providing security to not feel like I got to quit that job before I do this thing. That's the beautiful thing about reading screenplays. You can fit it in the margins and the cracks of your life, right? So you can keep that
Yes.
thing that's keeping your life secure, and have some, change the value around that to be appreciative of it, instead of letting it be this villain in your life, having it be this investor in your life, and having it be a support system in your life. And when you start changing your mind about that, then other things open up. It's really kind of amazing when you start, because if you're in that angsty position of like, I hate this, I don't want to do this, I want to do this over here, and then you have this sort of envy can crop in about the people that are doing it. Like, it's just become this just negative cycle. Being able to turn that around to like, this job is my investor and this job is my support system, so that I can, on top of this job, do the things that I want to do. And then isn't it great that other people are doing this too? Because now I have people I can look towards, I have mentors, I have examples, I can follow. What are they doing? I can do that too. So really, like, we really push to try to help, like, just shake that mindset and turn it around, because it really makes a huge difference as we move forward. And this is kind of the work you've been doing, as you meet someone, and I've seen it. He goes back and forth with emails for a long time, like helping someone kind of figure that out, because it can be difficult when you're in it to see it. Of course, it's always easier to see someone else's thing, right? So, but that's why we're trying to create programs and have people like Anthony. It was so wonderful when I met you, because you can do the thing that I just simply don't have the bandwidth to do. I'm busy like creating programs, I'm coaching people, I'm doing all this stuff. I don't really have the time or to be able to sit and go with one-on-one and talk to someone. I wish I could, but we have a lot of students, and I want to make sure that we're serving the students that we do have. And so when I met you and we talked about you potentially coming in and taking on that role, it was like, oh, thank good, because there's so many people I want to serve. I'm only one person. So being able to have someone pick that up, someone like you that really understands it and really understands values and really lives that. That's been huge. It's just, I keep sending, I send Anthony texts where I'm like, here's another person I'm talking about doing what we're doing, and that I wouldn't have been able to do if you weren't here. Like, you're doing this thing that they're telling me I need to do in terms of running a business, and you're filling that role, which is so fantastic. So super appreciative of that. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's an honor to do it. It's something that, for me, it just seems like second nature, because I've been doing this for so long. I've been, 17 plus years now in, building, growing businesses, and, helping really align people with their audiences and match those values. Because at the end of the day, it really is all about impact. Even for me, it's about impact.
Yeah.
I've got like this picture, it's got me all backwards here, but I got this picture of my family behind me, because it's a reminder every time I'm on a call like this, like, what am I doing this for? And it's not just for me, it's not just for you, but it's also to show them that you could be really kind to people, you could really help people in a genuine way, and do really, really well while doing that.
And it's working. Okay, we're going to take a quick break for show and tell. It's working. You have to share what your son made.
Oh,
I know he just shared this with me personally. I hope you don't mind, because it's so fantastic. Like, this is such an example of how the trickle down and what's happening. Exactly what you're talking about. Look at this.
Yeah. So my son Miles, he's 12, and he's like, Daddy, I'm going to make an organizer for you. I had no idea what he was going to do. So he starts cutting up all these cardboard boxes. He gets the paint out and the hot glue gun, and when he's done, he presents this to me. And this is my new organizer with these hinges and this drawer. So this drawer works. But inside the drawer, he went ahead and placed one of my books. And this is one of my favorite books. I recommend it if you haven't ever read it.
Think and Grow Rich. When he was showing this to me before we started, and I was like, oh, that's a book. I wish my kid, I would have been aware of that book when I was 12. So great. Right?
He's like, and this was based on a need. So he saw my desk. He's like, there's a need,
you need to get organized, Dad.
And so he's like always asking me about, business ideas and how to make an impact, how to deliver value to folks. And to me, that means everything. I'm like, it's almost like a tear jerking moment for me frequently, because when he comes to me and says these things, I'm just like, wow, it's working, right?
For sure. You're demonstrating. I mean, monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Kids watch their parents, and that, no matter the whole do as I say, not as I do thing. Yeah, that doesn't work. They watch what you're doing. And I'm seeing my son who's 24 now, and he's just like, I'm just so proud of him. And he's just has such an amazing work ethic. And so it's like, if I did nothing in this world, the fact that he has that, like, I'm good. I'm good. So I just love that so much. And it's such a demonstration of, the person that I met in you and the person that I wanted to bring on board to do this. It's so exciting. So as you get our emails and stuff, really look out when you see an email. Sometimes it'll say Anthony for Carolyn. And so sometimes people are like, who is this person and what's going on? Is this a bot? And it's us. And we have decided what we want to create. And so we create kind of specific programs, and then Anthony tells you about them, and then he'll respond to your emails. So we wanted to find a way where you could kind of see him in person and get an idea of who Anthony is. And then also when you get the email, it's not, you see that it's from an actual person, it's us together. And it's us creating things that are, we're just going to keep moving forward and creating more and more stuff. It's really fun.
Yeah. And I would say I wanted to share a couple like tips, because I see there's a lot of folks that they're just, there's this fear, right? It's like they have this fear of stepping out into who they really are, and they know who they are. They feel it inside. But like you said, their profession or their job is kind of the thing that they're kind of holding on to, and they're really worried. And one of the things that helped me a long time ago, I heard just a change, helped me change the perception of this. So anything that you feel like is, oh, I have to go do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. If you just change that to, I get to do this, right? So I get to work this job, work in this profession because it's a means, like it's my investor into my, my real career that I'm moving towards. It changes everything. Totally. Just that perception. Yeah. And also there's another, there's another phrase that I heard that is also a game changer. It's just one sentence. It's a question. And it is, what am I tolerating that I don't have to?
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
In any place in your life, like you could ask yourself that question. What am I tolerating that I don't have to? Because we tell ourselves, right? Like it's our thoughts. It's our thoughts about the argument. But there's a thought behind that thought, right? Yeah. We got to figure out what that is.
Yeah. And if you are tolerating it, it means you're valuing something that's not true. It's not true to you. You're valuing something that's somebody else's, probably, most likely. I always say, if you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to do all the things, that's typically not a time management issue. That's a boundary issue. That means that, if you're unhappy running around doing all this stuff, it means that other people are putting things on you. Typically, sometimes you're doing it to yourself, but, and even if it is just you, it is like, take a second, take a breath, ask yourself, what can I let go of?
Who's got a really good framework for that, Carolyn? Is Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule.
He's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So just anytime you're facing something that you're not sure if it's like, it feels like there's risk or it feels scary. It's like, hey, ask yourself, is it going to kill you? Is it going to make you go broke? And if it isn't, then you count from 5 to 1 and then you take the action.
Yeah.
Right. Game changer.
He actually I was in a thing and he had me share my notebook where I had written, if you're not looking at your numbers, you're meaning your bank account. If you're not looking at your money coming in, that means you're telling the universe that you don't want more money. You're afraid of more money. And that was a conversation that we had. Yeah, it's amazing. It is amazing when you start to realize how much your actions, because if you're not, that's an example of an action. If you're not, that's an inaction. If you're not looking at the things that you need to do, or you're hiding from things, you're basically telling yourself, and you're telling kind of your next step is that you don't want this to happen. You're afraid of it in some way. There's some other thing that you're tolerating instead. So what can you let go of that? Don't tolerate that thing.
If it feels scary and it feels like you're getting a lot of resistance, usually I've learned it's a sign to push on the gas and move forward.
I love that about you.
It's the strongest when the opportunity is the greatest, and it is, it's so important. It's so important.
Speed of implementation, right?
Because it's like, it's like with your programs, I equivalent your programs like having a recipe. It's like having like the recipe for the perfect cookie, right? So if you take all the ingredients, you don't miss the ingredient, and you apply the heat. In this case, heat would be the action. So you apply the action to the recipe.
That's cool.
I mean, it solves. It's amazing what people can accomplish when you just take that
really
action.
is. Yeah. And we're in such a it's such a beautiful time right now because we have so many resources available to us that have never been available. So I'll provide the recipe all day long, and I'm going to turn up the heat as well. I'm going to be like, come on, come on, love you so much. I'll hold your hand. But I'm turning up the heat while we do it, and it's been so much fun doing that. And I'm seeing our students are getting great results, and just watching when someone has that aha moment, it just makes it all worth it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, that accountability piece is so important. I mean, it's like having a personal trainer, right? It's like you can show up to the gym on your own and you could probably get a good workout. Most of us can get a good workout, but if you've got somebody that's like their job is to make sure you get those results, you're going to get a workout and you're going to get the results, right? Especially if you show up.
You'll love this. Even inside our course, we've noticed that people are having a fear of the finals. So we have a final that you have to take in order to pass the course, but you can take it as many times as you want. You can share the answers with each other. There's no such thing as cheating because it's about getting the information. We don't have grades, don't care about grades, but we want you to have the information. So in the test, you can keep taking it until you get it right because we want to make sure you have the information. And people get so freaked out that we're literally next week, I think we're getting all together. We're going to take the finals together. I'm like, come on, everybody. I'm going to stand there and be like, here's the answer. Because I want to make sure they have the information. It's not about like the greater, and I want to help people get over the fear of taking tests and that kind of thing. So it's like, it's kind of twofold. So it is that thing of like, I'm going to turn on the action, and I'm going to like pull you kicking and screaming over the final bar there. So I think it'll help. Hey, Jeffrey, nice to see you, man. Yeah, awesome. Cool. This has been really fun. I mean, I can talk about self-development with you all day long because I just know you have so many great nuggets and so many things that you have to share. And I've seen you, Jen. I know you speak all over the place, doing that. So that was one of the things I was like, wait, I know you're out there speaking. Come in, like, let's do this together. So much fun. So I also want to let you guys know that you can just email Anthony if you have questions. I'm going to put up, we created an email for you guys specifically, VIP@HollywoodGatekeepers.com, because he runs our VIP program. So all of our students are VIPs. And that way, if you have a question for Anthony or you want to get to know him a little bit better, or you have like, what about me? My situation's different. If you think that you have some situation that's holding you back, just email him at VIP@HollywoodGatekeepers.com. That's Anthony, and he'll respond to you and he'll chat with you. It's actually Anthony. There's no bots going on. It's just us. And then we'll have conversations behind the scenes too. And it helps us, help you, help up. It's just a win for sure.
Yep. Yeah. It's a tide that raises all ships. That's what it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so we're constantly trying to figure out what programs we want to create. And you guys help us do that by giving us feedback. So it's really lovely to have you guys here. Really lovely to talk to you, Anthony. I want to take we try to keep these under half an hour so that we're like, giving you some good stuff to think about. And then just keep an eye out. Anthony's going to send out an email in the next couple of days with one of the programs that we're working on, and you can kind of get to know him. And then if you respond, he'll respond. You just start chatting. It's just like, it's the real deal. It's really fun. So, and I can't say enough, Anthony, how appreciative I am to have you in our world and have you be able to do that and take up that task so that we can serve people even better, because we really are super sincere about that. That authenticity is really important to me, and integrity, and always. I mean, Anthony and I've had many conversations about, is that an integrity? Do we want to make sure that, we want to make sure that we're always coming from a place of authenticity and integrity. So, could make the world a better place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One person at a time.
Yeah. If it has to be that's what it'll be. And the more that we can just keep on being that example, the better it is. Right. So thank you so much. You have anything else you want to add at the end here?
It's an honor to be here. And I would just say, I'm a very encouraging person. So I would just remind everybody, like, if you want to really excel in your career, in your business, wherever you want to go, you gotta kind of shut out the noise and really put the blinders on and focus and be willing to take action, take some risk. 5-second rule. It's seriously, it's a game changer. And just take the action.
Yeah, really good. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for showing up, and thanks for watching the replay. And we're going to keep on keeping on. And I hope you join us in any way that you're able to do that. We'll talk to you guys soon. Yay.